Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of r/slash entitled people. In today's episode, let my children walk your dogs. My friend doesn't want me to meet her boyfriend, but she wants to be friends with my fiancé. Roommates want me to pet sit other people's pets. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Let my children walk your dogs. Where have you been? We promised our children they could walk your dogs. We want the Dalmatian, Labrador, and Husky. This was how I was met by a family of 4, mom, dad, and 2 daughters I would guess were about 9 and 7. Inside the kennels for more than 80 dogs looking to be rehomed. What was more surprising was that it was 7 a.m. in Easter morning. I was one of 2 people on site as we had a skeleton team covering the overnight with more colleagues to join us for the big walk in the morning. OP, what the hell are you doing in here? Get out. Entitled father, don't scream at us. We are here to take your dogs out. Don't you dare disappoint my daughters. OP, I need you to get out. I'm calling the police. Entitled father, don't be ridiculous. Quickly, young person, come and open the gates so we can our Easter walk. We do this every year. This can't have been true. Mostly as we only did walks once someone had been through a full application process. Also, as many of these dogs get to us because they have been rescued by the emergency side of the charity I worked for, so many were a long way away from being ready to be reintroduced into the home. Asterisk dogs start barking and snarling at the heated exchange. Entitled daughter, why are they barking and snarling? Daddy, make them stop. Entitled father, will you get your dogs under control? This is a home counties. We do not expect this kind of treatment. Asterisk slowly but surely backing away. OP, out now. You're not allowed in here. Entitled father, will you come here? You're upsetting my daughters, and this is a special holiday. All you have to do is get them leashed up, and we will be back in an hour or 2. OP, you have to leave. Asterisk slips out of the door and starts running to reception. Flying back to the office, I burst through the door like the Kool-Aid man. Explained to my colleague what had happened, who got onto the police immediately. I ran to the cameras to see how the hell we hadn't spotted them. The cameras hadn't picked them up. Side note, this was the mid-2000s when digital cameras were not cheap, so we only had so many on site. We stayed in the office until the police arrived about 20 minutes later. I was getting fidgety as the dogs hadn't been fed yet. Surely they were long gone and I could just get on with feeding them. My more experienced colleague put the kibosh on that. Finally, the police arrived, and after introductions and a quick explanation, we headed towards the kennel. Asterisk opens the door to the kennels. OP, is it okay if I start feeding the dogs? We've had to delay. Policeman, no, we need to make sure the site is secure first. Policewoman, I will get you as soon as we have the clear. OP, no prob. Entitled father, where the hell have you been? You've left us here ages. What kind of service do you call this? Policeman, sir, you're trespassing. Entitled father, what are you talking about? We are helping. Policeman, you must leave. Entitled father, no, I will not disappoint my daughters. From my vantage point, what happened next was a bit of a muddle. As both police officers approached the family, the father moved towards the policeman. The policeman had the entitled man on the floor as quick as a flash, and then the cacophony of noise became epic as both daughters screamed. The wife started hollering obscenities at the female officer, and the dogs barked and howled in unison. It was the dogpocalypse. Time seemed to stand still as the policewoman stared at the mother and daughters. Entitled woman, get off him. We just want to walk the dogs. Policewoman, ma'am, you're trespassing. You have to leave now. Entitled woman, no, you should arrest them, point in my direction, for lack of service. Policewoman, ma'am, please take your daughters to the exit or I will have to put you under arrest. Entitled woman, don't be stupid. I know. Asterisk random person who I have never heard of, and I'm a policy person helping the kennels at this time, so they can't have been that high up. They will have your badge for this. Policewoman, you're under arrest. Asterisk takes woman under her control. Entitled daughter, are we under arrest now? Dogs, making all the noise of an upcoming superstorm arriving. At some point during this, the police had called in backup who arrived en masse. I was politely but deliberately removed from the situation. Both entitled mother and father were arrested, and I had to give multiple statements to the police. It turned out that they were very local and had walked in by hopping a fence and entering through a side door. It would appear this had been left unlocked, and they just wandered in. Both parents were fined, given an order to stay away from the site, and were rather embarrassed in the local press. On Nice Element is one of the daughters, not sure which one as I had left by then, became a volunteer when they were older, so at least it didn't kill their passion for dogs. Please note, this is a colleague's story who asked me to write it up for them. As far as I am aware, this story is true. Remembered dialogue has been captured and tone and intent have been matched for missing parts for entertainment purposes. Well, I know of a rescue that had a registered volunteer steal the dogs they walked, so there's that. Also, Dalmatians aren't always sweet and cuddly like the movies. That dog could have been surrendered for aggression towards a kid. I've written a couple of these posts over the last few days and have been inundated by people I know in the charity sector who want me to share their stories. There are some absolute crackers. I hope this is okay to share them in the first person like this and that they are enjoyable rather than annoying. This was beyond bizarre and entertaining. Oh man, try owning a Dalmatian, and you'll meet some entitled people. I've had people chase me down and immediately grab at her, and I've had parents get upset when I say, "Oh sorry, we're in a hurry," when I don't have time to let their kid pet her. One parent recently told me I shouldn't bring my Dalmatian out in public if I wasn't going to let kids pet her. My friend doesn't want me to meet her boyfriend, but she wants to be friends with my fiancé. I met my friend back in 2019 during college. We were really friends instantly and we had so much in common. But since life has moved on and we both changed, I really don't recognize her. The confident and bold girl I met isn't there anymore. My friend met her boyfriend back in 2022 and it's been horrible ever since. She has told me she thinks he's cheating on her, how emotionally abusive he is towards her, the way he screams at her, and that he encouraged her to not take birth control and that they have unprotected intimacy. So from what she told me, I never had a liking towards this guy. But they always break up just to get back together, so this guy isn't going anywhere. My friend goes from crying over what he says and does to being so happy in a state of euphoria. It's a constant up and down of emotions. I'm engaged to the person I would love to call my soulmate. We have been together for 2 years. When we first started our relationship, my friend told me how important it is that she befriends my fiancé and that they have a good friendship. I agreed and included her in our hangouts. There have been many times I told her to let her boyfriend join us. I thought it's unfair to judge a person I never met, and I should give him a chance. My friend always pushed off the idea of a double date, or would say we should do it, but never fall through. I know she would even go on a double date with her coworker. I thought maybe they have more in common because they work together. I only met her boyfriend once, and it was very awkward. We were going shopping, and she told me that her boyfriend texted her that he's cold at work. She ended up buying him a $130 jacket, and we had to go drop it off to him. I tried to insist to her not to because of how expensive it is, but there was no getting through to her. She decided we had to drop it off at their work. They work at the same place. When we got there, she told me to stay in the car, and I felt stupid staying in a car. I told her that's silly, and if it's really a problem if I met him. She kept arguing with me that I need to stay in the car. He ended up coming out to us, and I told her it's awkward if I stay here. So I ended up meeting him, and he ignored her the whole time. He didn't thank her for the jacket, and he kept trying to talk to me. He asked me about myself and what I'm ordering when we have dinner. It was very weird, and then after that my friend was crying in the car that he didn't thank her for the jacket and that he ignored her. For another example, I went out to dinner with her and her brother. I'm friends with him too, last Friday. She got into a bad argument with him, and she was devastated, like no matter how much we tried to help her, she was inconsolable. After an hour, her mood changed, and all was fine again. She told us she's dropping off dinner for her boyfriend. Then when we got to his place, she parked away from his house and told us it's best that we stay here. Her brother said that it's rude towards her boyfriend if we park away from his house, like it could show she's embarrassed of him or where he lives. She told her brother he's right, and of course we were told to wait in the car. For some additional information about me, my fiancé and I have to do long distance for a bit due to visa reasons. We're doing the K1 fiancé visa, so he'll be back anywhere from August-December. We have been apart since June, but I do go and visit him during my work vacations. My friend constantly mentions that when my fiancé comes back, we have to go out on a double date. She said it so many times that I don't think she's excited for him to come back, rather just for her boyfriend to come out with us. I have told her I'm fine and happy to go out with them and explained it could take a while for my fiancé to come back. She insisted she rather wait. She said it the other night that my fiancé needs to come home so we can double date. I asked her, why can't it be us? Why do we have to wait for him? She said that she rather wait for everyone can be comfortable. I don't know what that even has to do with anything. I'm perfectly fine and comfortable to go out with them, like I don't need my fiancé to have fun. The other factor is he won't be back until 6 to 8 months. My friend knows that, and when I tried explaining to her that it might take a while until he comes back, and when I told her that, she just said, well, time moves fast, and before you know it, he'll be here. It just sounded stupid, so I didn't even try to carry on with that conversation. I am really confused. She always mentions wanting to double date, just for it to never happen. They have been together for 2 years, and I never met this guy, but she puts such an importance on being friends with my fiancé. She also double dates a lot with her coworker and their husband, then she proceeds to tell me how amazing her double date was. I'm so tempted to ask her if she thinks I'm an idiot, and I really want to ask if she's embarrassed me or of her boyfriend. I just don't know why she makes it a big deal to have a good friendship with my fiancé, but I can't even hang out with her and her boyfriend. She thinks he's a cheater, and the one time you met him, he completely ignored her and focused all of his attention on you. To me, it sounds like she's insecure in the relationship and is scared that he'll try to get with you. I think you're sadly onto something, and that's probably the case. It's sad, but I feel like if her boyfriend tried to do something to me, she would blame me and not him. You're friends with her brother. Talk to him. Your friend is a bit of a red flag. Just let her go. Doesn't seem like she adds much to your life besides stress. Get your friend away from him. I don't believe she is safe. Roommates want me to pet sit other people's pets. My 2 roommates are a couple, M/F. For privacy purposes, we'll call them Karen, and Bob and I will be John. IWFH, Karen and Bob both work as housekeepers all day. Both leave the house at around 6 a.m. and come back at around 8 p.m. every day except Sunday. Karen and Bob do not like cooking, so they come back home from the city and then go back to the city to eat out every day. They clean a lot of houses and end up making connections with their clients. So it all started with 1 or 2 of their wealthy clients who owns pets needing a vacation, but dog sitters are so expensive, so Karen decides to offer herself to pet sit their pets for them for a weekend, free of charge. So what does Karen and Bob do? They let me know they are bringing in a pet for the weekend, and they will totally take care of it. Okay, fine. What actually happens? They wake up at 6 a.m., feed the dog, and let him out for a few minutes to poo and pee. Then they leave for work, letting me know, hey John, I fed and walked the pet. No need to worry about it. So now as I'm WFH, there's a sad, bored dog looking at me in anticipation. It's now 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. No signs of Karen or Bob, so it's either I feed the dog and walk the dog or leave the poor animal to its own devices, and I'm no asshole. So I feed the dogs, I walk the dogs. Karen and Bob come home back home sometime after 6 p.m., quick shower, baby talk to the pet, and off they go back to the city to eat out. I guess since I WFH, Karen and Bob feel like I got nothing better to do and should take care of someone else's pet on my dime. It's now Sunday, it's my day off, and I'm ready to stay at home playing some video games, watching some movies, or whatever. Well, Bob and Karen have other plans. It's beach and eat out time. All day. Hey John, since you are not going out, do you mind taking care of the dog? So basically they are signing up to sit people's dogs, but not actually pet sitting it. Naturally, I start to complain. If you are going to keep pulling this shit, I want to be paid $35 per day. Huge argument ensues. Apparently I'm the asshole for not wanting to do what they signed up for free. Stuff like, don't be unreasonable, it's not a big deal, and I washed your dirty dishes you forgot the other day. I wonder what exactly they need the kitchen for, since everything inside the fridge is mine and they eat out every day. Even the dishes they washed are mine. But they also made sure to let me know most of the energy bill at the house is because of me, since I'm home all day and my PC is on all day while they work outside all day. So now energy bill is my fault and I need to pet sit for them because, well, I guess I went to college and have a good job. F***ck me, am I right? So anyways, they decide that getting paid for pet sitting is fair, so they're going to make sure they will actually take care of the pet this time and apply pet sitting payments to the rent. They are going to take in a dog for 2 full weeks while the owner is casually vacationing in Italy. It's 9 a.m. Dogs sitting here looking at me while they are at work. These two used to be good friends of mine, but man, I'm feeling cheated on here. Worst thing is, for both financial and legal reasons, I can't really go live elsewhere ATM, so I'm stuck in this situation. Or maybe I'm just entitled. Edit. We do rent the place. Lease is in my name and Karen's. Landlord technically doesn't allow pets, but he's also not your regular landlord. He's basically our friend, so I can see him just rolling his eyes and overlooking it. He's seen the dogs a few times, and while he expressed annoyance about it, didn't really do anything about it. We do pay a fairly cheap rent for what is a fairly nice house in a prime area. Google dog sitting and dog walking rates. Print it out and tell them that going forward you will deduct this amount from your rent. This right here is a very good reply. Any possible way you could let people know that when they pet sit, they are actually not watching after the animal? If I was an owner of a pet, I would certainly want to know this information. Of course, you could tell them that you need the contact information for the animal's owner in case anything happens to the animal. Because they're not there, who would you contact? And then tell the owners what's really going on. I really hope that you can get out of that situation. They shouldn't be offering to pet sit when they aren't doing the job. Start stashing funds to move out, or find other roommates to replace the moochers. Start working 2 to 3 days a week outside the house at a coffee shop or a work share if possible, whenever you can pull it off with work and whenever there's an animal at home. They need to understand that they'll never be able to rely on you to help with pet sitting. Also, always clean your dishes. Are animals allowed in the house you are renting? I would let the landlord know what is going on anyway to protect yourself from being charged for any damage the animals may do. I would also tell your roommates you are not responsible for any damage to the house that the dogs/s make, but they are, as they are getting paid to look after it. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.